Alright, let's get into clubs. The snowy capital, the kingdom that's like separated into 3 factions in the Emerald Mountain ranges to the north, the largest kingdom by landmass alone. So, we just kind of gotta take things as we go. Like I said, these are rambling videos, so... And maybe even a little ASMR, I don't know. But anyway, so let's just get into our main players in clubs. We have... Their attribute is luck, good or bad. It's definitely reflected in a certain aspect. They're very good at stealth and tracking. That's their magic. So, lots of spies. You know, the Russian spy thing. Lots of spies. They kind of do have the most spies. This is a little insider thing. There are a lot of Clubbian spies in all the kingdoms. They're really good at what they do. So, we have King Ivan, who is Russia. Queen Elizabeth, who is Hungary. Jack Roderick, who is Austria. Then we get into, what do I have? We have the King's Ace, who is Nikolai, who is male Belarus. Of course, I don't have a chibi for that. Not on screen. And we also have another ace, who is Tolis. The Queen's Ace is going to be Felix, Poland. And the thing about this is that we have 2 court magicians. Actually, before we get into court magicians, Edward is here. He doesn't really have a role. He's just a noble who's part of the court. Do I have anything off the top I can put him in? Nope, that's going to be saved for later. But Estonia's here. We also have Latvia, Ravis. Ravis is the court jester. King Ivan likes to be cruel to poor little Ravis, and Ravis is... oh boy, poor baby. Elizabeth has stopped Ivan from doing some of the more cruel things to Ravis, but oh baby. Poor court jester Ravis. He would have a lot better of a situation if he just shut his mouth and would stop insulting the king by mistake. And maybe put some distance between himself and the king. I don't know, but you know, he's in that position. Then we have the court magicians. And yes, I said court magicians, plural. We have 2. Remember how I said the attribute is luck, good and bad? We have the court magician of bad fortune, Hetalia. And then we have the court magician of good fortune, Vladimir, who is Romania. So we have Belarus and Romania working together as the court magicians. They don't really work together, they're just different aspects. So Natalia's more the one who'll say like, don't step left on the brick road, you'll break your foot. And Romania will be like, Vladimir will be like, hey, make sure that you get your good luck charm, or like, you know, something good's gonna happen today. So things like that. And we also have a royal tailor here, who is Felix. He loves make garments. So as I said, clubs is situated to the north, the Emerald Mountains of I don't think I've ever mentioned what the world is called. It's called Talia. So I know, it's like, at least this is not named the world of Hetalia. But I decided to name it Talia because it sounds a little bit like Tyria, which is a world in Guild Wars 2. Is the world in Guild Wars 2. What am I talking about? But, so I was like, Talia. That's not Ortelius from Fire Emblem. So I was like, let's name it Talia. But, so mainly, clubs is represented by 3 factions. As you can see in the symbol, the club, just 3 different parts. But it's mainly, for right now, divided into 2 factions. You have to the, wait, is it east? Maybe I shouldn't get specific. I have my notes right here, goodness. But to the west, I'm gonna say west right now because I can. The west is are the humans. Now the humans are here, they exist. This is where I get the most King's Quest 6. When you go to the right, the east, you have the Shabra, which are very tribal, anthropomorphic, like basically your furry capital, basically. They're anthropomorphic animals. So you have the lions, the tigers, your bears, oh my. So, and they have like their own system. Clubs is kind of a uniting factor there, but they mainly just kind of do their own thing while recognizing King Ivan as the head. In terms of weather, Clubs has the most brutal winters and like the really moderate and short summers. Like I said, they're really far north up in the mountains. So when you get into clubs, you definitely, especially when you get into the different factions, you definitely do get a lot of, well, racism. Let's just be real. Let's just call it out. Say it right here. Yeah, there's a lot of racism in clubs. Lots of humans look down upon the Shabra, who are the anthropomorphic animal people. And then you have the Shabra people who don't, I'm just gonna call them anthropomorphic. So like right now, they are called Shabra, that's the name for them. But the anthros who do not like the humans. And then the third faction, which is the smallest, they don't really have their own area. There's their own little area in the works. But you have the ones that are half human and half Shabra. They're to enter whatever it is. And that's how we got the king. King Ivan actually is half. He's half human and half Shabra. And one thing about the half humans is that they're able to transform into the non-anthropomorphic version of that animal. So King Ivan, if he ever needed to, don't know why he would, but if he ever needed to, he could transform into a bear, basically. So the half humans are kind of caught in the middle, and King Ivan is mainly on the throne because he is half, and he is supposed to be like a uniting factor, a symbol of unity. So Clubian culture tends to be really braggadocious. They don't really care about the brand. Like, they're kind of the opposite of spades. Yes, King Ivan does have a king's brand. That's cool. But had it been anyone else other than him, they wouldn't have cared. Actually, no, I'll take that back. King Ivan does not have a king's brand, but his half-sister, Katya, did. So, they don't really value the brand at all. It's just a job. Look, it's not even like a thing for like the king and the queen to be married. And I know I'm an Aushun shipper, but let me tell you right now, I have no clue what to even do with Austria. So Aushun isn't even really a thing in this AU because I don't know what to do with them. Clubs is a culture that really values strength, not only in terms of like physical power, but also strength of emotions. No one really shows like that much outward expression. No one lets their emotions get the best done. Okay, I won't say no one, but it's kind of like a no-no to let your emotions get the best of you. That's just how it is. So I just mentioned Princess Katya, who is Ukraine. She's not here. Well, Ivan, once again, I said, was chosen over his sister, who honestly was a better leader, was more mellow, was able, I don't say mellow, but like she would have been a better king than he is, but she wasn't exactly the representation that we wanted to go for. So she tried to address that with the former king, who is their father, and said, hey, you know, I'm probably a better suit for this, despite not being half, because I have this and I have that. And besides not being mixed race, because I have these qualities and that and this. And she really drew it up, but he did end up, he was harsh. He did end up banishing her, or just like, basically kind of like, you have 24 hours to leave my sight for questioning me. I am your king. I don't care whether you're my daughter or not. Still working at the kinks in that story. But basically, Katya, I told you, I like to have Ukraine win. So she ends up in hearts married to a certain ace. And that would be Sadiq. She is married to Sadiq. There's Turkrain here. And so she gets a happy ending. She's doing really well in hearts. She's happy. But he definitely was passed up just for politics. So, in clubs, how you get your positions is being noteworthy. Especially the higher positions, the king, the queen, the jack. You have to do something noteworthy. You have to be known for something. This is a culture that's very big on humble bragging, really. Boasting, kind of. And being known for something. Everyone wants to make their legend. Everyone wants to be something. Ivan really doesn't really fall into that. He is, let's just say, thank goodness that the king's role is he's kind of more of a figurehead. And I don't know, maybe not that. Like I said, I'm still working out the kinks. But there's other things in place. He's not exactly the best leader. People definitely do respect the king though. But so he's kind of there, not really for doing anything noteworthy. He kind of rode on the coattails of his father, who is a, military veteran, a war hero, and things like that. So he kind of rode on those coattails, and that's how he became king. But I think everyone's aware that is very political why he's on the throne. Queen Elizabeth, she is one of the strongest women in the kingdom. She's known for being a great fighter and everything. So they said, do you want to be queen? Yes, there you go. Then you have Jack Roderick, extremely accomplished musician, composer, things like that. He's like, I guess I have time for this. Basically, being a Jack pays more than being a composer. But he's just really good at what he does. So this is a culture that kind of, well, I would say more so the Shabra than the humans. The Shabra definitely do have more of a tribal culture. They tend to build their architecture more into the nature and live with the nature. Humans kind of reject that a little bit, and then the mixed race individuals do kind of straddle that line. I think I'm just gonna start like listing things off about like clubs. Just club has a heavy drinking culture, which rose about because of the harsh winters and the belief that alcohol will keep you warm. So there's a heavy drinking culture, especially Mr. Ravis right there. He can throw it back. That's all I'm gonna say. This culture also seems to be very superstitious, very about good fortune or bad fortune, very into the stars and predictions with that. Just on an everyday kind of basis. They're very big astrology buffs. So I went over how we move up, just by being notable or being exceptional. One thing about clubs is that the power and the money tends to be centralized at the top. The rest of the country is just kind of poor. They kind of get by, while the royalty and monarchy is kind of lavish. Elizabeth is trying to change this a little bit. Ivan doesn't really care. King Ivan tends to try to get, now I'm just going to do other things, little tidbits. King Ivan tends to get his way through intimidation, which really worked until we got Elizabeth on board, and then she kind of checks him about it. He still tries, basically. So she has like her own like little veto power. There is, and one of the funniest thing about clubs, there's like a love pentagon going on in the nobility. Goodness. So let me just check how I have this written. Tolis loves Hetalia, while Hetalia loves Ivan. Ivan is interested in a certain Spadian Jack who won't give him the time of day. We also have, I feel like all the love should be in hearts, but like all the love quarreling happens in clubs. It's kind of funny. So like we have Nikolai, who is male Belarus, who is interested in Tolis, and it's the kind of thing where like he will just say like random things. He'll just, with a straight face, he'll just say really vulgar things to Tolis and just be like I want to beep you with a cactus or something like that, or something of that matter. He just says it with a straight face and just walks away. He loves the Tolis. So I feel like I've rambled enough about clubs. I feel like I'm not really descriptive about these, but it's a work in progress. I really am. It's not as fleshed out as I would like it to be, but here it is. I'm trying to think. We went over Ivan. I feel like I gave Ivan like a really like bad like rep. And it's like, no, he does stuff. He's just not the best king. Like he tries. I don't know. Maybe because I just don't know. I don't have like any specific stories. And like I said, you know, I have a hard time with it. I just don't understand why Austria is here. But yeah, so that's the whole thing. So that's clubs. And next time we'll be getting into diamonds. Hopefully I could talk a lot more about diamonds. Diamonds is definitely the most fleshed out of the four kingdoms, so maybe I'll be a little bit more organized with that. But anyway, I'd like to thank y'all so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Do what you need to do. Protect your peace. Love y'all. Bye.